the posted price of Meetin and our network, and we love it because it's got these really, really cool tools. So we'll tell you a little bit about that later. Our next section is where we bring in a keynote speaker to give us a little bit of information, all the stuff that we didn't know. We hope for a few golden nuggets. We often get more than a few. It's spectacular. Today's speaker is Alex Yates. She is my favorite travel agent on earth because she goes to bat for me. And I'm sorry, when I book my own stuff, nobody goes to bat for me. I have to go to bat for myself, and I don't like it. I much prefer it with other people going to bat for me. Okay, Alex, we are so happy you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I actually have prepared something, and I've got it on the top screen. So I'm going to be looking up and looking down. So, don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just the way I've got it set up. So my name is Alex Yates, and for 25 years, I've been an independent travel advisor. My host agency is Travel Edge, the largest independent travel agency in North America, with over 500 travel advisors in 3 countries. I've been with World Referral Network practically from the beginning, and I'm physically located in Victoria, British Columbia. I've known Sean for over 20 years now. I worked that out, Sean, 20 years. And if Sean asks me to do something, I do it. I bet some of you here today know all about that. Today, I'm going to talk about why travel advisors are still relevant and necessary in the age of AI. I'm going to talk about mistakes we make when we decide to do it alone. And if I have learned anything from being a lone ranger myself, it is that someone, well, like most of the time, sometimes like most of the time, it helps to be helped and to help. So here we go. The biggest mistake people make when planning travel, and how to avoid them. Planning a trip is supposed to be relaxing, but ironically, the planning phase is where most people create their own future stress. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or a first-timer, these are the most frequent and costly mistakes people make. Trying to see 3 cities in 7 days. This results in spending more time in transit mode, Uber's security lines packing, than in vacation mode. And the impact of this is a low emotional return on investment. You return exhausted with a blurry memory of airports rather than a clear memory of the destination. Second, you book flights on separate airlines and separate tickets, or scheduling a 60-minute connection. We know about that, Sean, right? And something goes wrong. You miss your connection, and the impact is expensive in time and in money. 3, the mistake, neglecting the boring logistics. Most trip ruining moments don't come from a bad hotel, they come from a paperwork oversight. Passport validity. Many countries require your passport to be valid for 6 months beyond your departure date. People often see their passport expires in 3 months and assume they're fine, only to be denied boarding at the gate. Visa and entry rules. In 2026, many destinations, including the EU, with ETIASs, have digital entry requirements that must be handled days or weeks in advance. I just discovered I'm going to England in the summer, and I am English, but I do not have my British passport anymore. And I actually have to get a British passport to get into Britain, even with the ETA situation. It's so interesting. Anyway, so the fix is to check your entry requirements the moment you decide to travel, before you book your flights, not the week you pack. And since I've been told that getting an English passport from here is going to take me at least 40 days, I'm already on it. So the next one, booking flights before researching the ground. It's tempting to snag a $400 flight deal to a remote island, but if you don't check the ground logistics first, that deal can become a nightmare. You land at 11 p.m., but the last ferry to your island left at 6. Now you're paying for an expensive emergency hotel and a taxi. The fix is before hitting purchase on a flight, open a second tab and check the transit options for the airport at your final
Mm.
destination. So now the next one, booking the wrong class of service. Sandy, you know all about this, don't you? So you book the cheapest, usually referred to as basic economy. And what you get is charges for luggage. Some airlines now even charging for hand luggage. You pay for seat selection. And if they overbook the flight, guess who gets kicked off the flight first? So booking hotels or a flight based on the sticker price on a third-party booking site. The impact is hidden costs and lower status. These deals
Mm.
often come with the worst rooms near the elevator or next to the dumpster and zero flexibility. For flights is finding you book basic economy, as I mentioned before. Booking with a travel advisor means I can get you preferred status like complimentary breakfast, $100 credits, or room upgrades. Now you really feel like you're on holiday. Digital blindness. This is the new one, guys. I hadn't even thought of this before. Relying on your smartphone for maps, tickets, and reservation confirmations without backup. I would never leave you without analog backup. I'm your human cloud. Over relying on top 10 lists, you will end up in exactly the same path as every other tourist, leading to tourist burnout, long lines, and overinflated prices, and mediocre and overpriced food. There's more to Rome than the Vatican and the Colosseum. For more authentic and better priced food, use the 2-block rule. Walk at least 2 blocks away from any major tourist site before you go look for a restaurant. Time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking. You worry about missing out on something, so you don't give yourself a buffer and plan a whole day of sightseeing on the day you arrive. And there's that thing called jet lag. And another thing called delayed flights. And it's very likely the airport will be, and it's fairly unlikely the airport will be within an hour of the city you arrived in. Often it's, 3 hours away. Schedule nothing for the first 8 hours after landing. Don't drop your bags off and go to the first place on your list. Have a shower. Find a local ATM, you'll need that, and get your bearings. So I could talk about mistakes all day long. Let's just remind you of a few absolute travel disasters and a couple of fixes. Overpacking, heavy bags, extra fees, and back pain. Pack for a week, even if you're staying for 3 weeks. You can do laundry. No travel insurance. This can lead to
Mm.
financial ruin if a medical emergency hits. Buy medical insurance and a basic policy that covers medical evacuation. I actually say to all my clients that I won't actually plan their trips at all unless they take their insurance out. So ignoring local holidays, this is one people don't think of. Museums are closed, shops are shut, and transit is packed. So Google wherever you're going to and their public holidays and what year you're going before booking. And then you'll decide whether it's worth going to, Italy. Like last year was Jubilee year in Italy. Horrible time to go anywhere because every Catholic in the world wants to go to Rome during Jubilee year. So airport confusion, missing a flight by going to the wrong terminal. Not only the wrong terminal, but the wrong airport. I've actually done this once. I went to Gatwick instead of Heathrow once, and I was flying to Nigeria. Yeah, that was fun. My poor parents, they almost had a heart attack when the plane arrived, and we weren't on it, my brother and I. So here's some suggestions before you decide never to travel again. Define your why. What are your objectives? You probably fall into one of these 4 buckets. You want to rest and recuperate, so slow mornings, spas, beaches, and minimal scheduling. Adventure and growth. Hiking, learning a new skill, pushing your physical limits. Cultural immersion. Museums, art galleries, local food tours, and historical landmarks. Or social connection. Party scenes, group tours, or visiting friends and family. The temptation is to get everything on your list done. So set your non-negotiables. For instance, mine is in any new city that I'm in for more than one day, I find an art gallery. That's my non-negotiable. So instead of planning every hour every day, pick one anchor activity per day and make sure it's doable and that you plan around that. If you get 3 activities in every day, you will have time and enjoy what you're seeing and doing because it's in alignment with your why.
Mm-hmm.
Use digital tools for mapping. I'm a big Google Map girl. It took me ages to work out how to use it properly, but once I did, it's amazing. So Google Map, everything, drop pins on everything you find interesting, and then look for clusters. When you find your cluster of things that you're really interested in, that's where your home base should be. And then there's a 20% rule. I love this one. Leave 20% of your time completely unbooked. That's when the best travel magic usually happens. And before booking, look at your itinerary and ask, does this schedule serve my why? If your goal is to de-stress and the reality is 6 a.m. flights and 4 train transfers, cut one city and book a direct flight, even if it costs a bit more. Most people mistake luxury for expensive, but in 2026, the real luxury is mental bandwidth. Most of my clients are or have been high performers who make thousands of decisions a day. The last thing they need is to manage a vacation. I provide intuition as a service, curating frictionless, high emotion experiences that move travelers from manager mode to presence mode. I don't just book travel, I protect your time and maximize your emotional return on investment, ensuring that when you return to the boardroom or your home, you're bringing back a transformed perspective, not just a credit card bill. In 2026, luxury is shifted from what you have to who you are because of where you went.
Mm.
A generic trip makes you a tourist. A curated trip makes you the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Business people value social capital. A curated experience, like a private meeting with a winemaker in Tuscany who doesn't open to the public, provides a story asset that a standard hotel booking cannot. In 2026, anyone can book a room. My job is to protect your most non-renewable resource, your attention. By curating your journey, I don't provide a vacation. I give you freedom to actually be there when you arrive. So that's my presentation.
I'll tell you, I had so many things hit and trigger me during that conversation. Because how did I ever think this marriage between him and me was going to work when what's the number one? I'm going to sit by the pool, eat good food, rest a lot more. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go climb pyramids now. And I'm like, what what are you talking about? That's not a vacation. I don't want to go on vacation and then need a vacation for my vacation. Like, what the hell? Right?
It's true. It's true. You do need to be really clear that you're in alignment about what your plan is when you get there.
Yeah, travel companionship. I mean, it's really funny because over the years we worked it out. Obviously, we're together 25 years. We went on vacation more than once, right? But we got to the point where I didn't have to excuse that I was this way anymore. And I didn't bother him about the fact that he wasn't that way and he needed to go and do what he needed to go and do. And thank God I had, hours by the pool where I could just read my book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could only handle it. I handled it. They took a bet, all of my staff, before I left. I thought they were doing a betting pool. It was Chang and Tim Lu and all my partners.
Yeah.
And I thought they were doing a betting pool on Chang's wife's baby because she was due to have her fourth baby, right? No, that's not what they were doing a betting pool on. They were betting on how long it would take me before I contacted one of them and, broke my I'm on vacation thing, right? So they had little squares that is like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 12 hours, so you picked your square and you paid your money, I guess. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I asked to join the baby pool, and then I was told it's not a baby pool. I was like, oh, I lasted 6 days because that's all I can handle. But Alex, thank you, because so much of that is true and we know has come true over the last little while. And it's not that you can't book on your own. People are capable of doing that,
Totally they
right?
are.
We just don't think through all, because I hardly ever even read all the stuff,
Yeah.
right? When I used to book on my own, because I used to book on my own all the time. I spent several years after my divorce traveling the world. Right? I was like, everything I didn't do before, I'm doing now. But I made all those mistakes, and it's unfortunate that we have to go through that, right? All right. So, anybody have any questions for Alex?
Oh, I just have one other thing to mention, which was Neil is in the room, and
Yes, I was going to say that. Hello, Neil.
terribly female. And Neil is here because he is my business partner. So I invited him to join us here. And Neil, I think you were about to say something and I cut you off.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw some testosterone in here to mix things up. And I wanted to
Well,
support Alex. I knew she was doing this. I'm sorry I'm
just
late.
because we're female doesn't mean we don't have testosterone. Some of us have the
I
size
know
of Texas.
I know that. But I just want to pop
It's
in and
okay. I
support
trust you.
Alex.
That's why I didn't kick you out,
Yeah.
because I know who you are and I trust you. And and one of the great things about Neil, and one of the things that Alex shares and Susie shares, is they're wanting to assist people who have disabilities to travel the way they deserve to travel. Like, just because I can't walk 30 miles in an airport doesn't mean I should have less of a travel experience than other
No.
people, right?
No, not at all.
And it's funny. So I'll tell you the story. So we took Sierra to the airport yesterday, and we go to drop her off, and the lineups are unbelievable. I've never seen the airport like this in all of my life. Never seen it.
Wow.
So we go, and then I realized I can't stand with her in line because I don't have the capacity
Yeah.
to stand more than like 5 or 10 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
So I said, okay, honey, get me a wheelchair. So as soon as we got in the wheelchair and got her in line, they pulled us out of line because I was in a wheelchair. And they put us in a separate, shorter line. I'm like, okay, but just so you know, it's my baby that's leaving, not me.
Mhm.
Right? I just can't stand in the line. So we need the wheelchair so that I can, be with her
there.
till the end,
Yeah.
So, and this is my niece. And here's the funny part. She's 20, but she looks like she's 12. She's one of those people who will look like she's 12 probably until she's 80. Like, it's so unfair.
Mhm.
Right? Like, she just looks like a baby face, right? So I said, she's going, not me. They're like, okay, no problem. You stay here. So then we go through that lineup, and then we put all our stuff in. And then there's another lineup to get through the security doors, because there's only one set of security doors. So anyway, it's a small airport in an island, a Caribbean island, you guys. Anyway, so we get in another lineup, and I'm still in the wheelchair. And then they bomb me around the airport, and then we're looking for Dave for half an hour. It's unbelievable, the whole thing, right? But you want experience to be good, whether you're disabled or not, And I'll tell my Montreal story because some of you haven't heard it. There's at least 2 people that haven't heard the story. But when COVID happened, I was on a contract in Montreal, and I got my contract got canceled, and I decided to come home. And I hadn't really been home more than 8 or 9 weeks a year for a couple of years at this point, because I was traveling, doing contracts in different places. And so I fly home, and as you know, when you're in a wheelchair, you're the first to go on the plane and you're the last to deplane. That's how it works. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're the last people to come off the plane, and there's me and another quite large woman, and she can't put weight on her leg at all because she's just had knee surgery. Okay.
Mm.
So we come off the plane, and it's packed. The waiting room, it's packed because everybody's trying to get home. COVID's hit. Everybody just wants to get home, and what do? Burrow in at home, right? Quarantine themselves.
Mhm.
So as we're coming off in this packed waiting room, this guy says in a nice loud voice the whole waiting room can hear, being fat is not a disability. Okay. At which point I look down at my big tummy and I pat it and I go, that's okay, baby. Sometimes people are just me. Right. At which point his face goes white and then red and then white, and everybody's glaring at him now. Like, everybody in the whole area, the gate is glaring at him. We go through. We now make it to the elevator, and the woman behind me is like, I never know what to say when people say shit like that. And the guy pushing my wheelchair goes, are you pregnant? And I'm like, no. But he deserved that. He deserved everything he got for doing that. Okay. Maybe next time he'll think twice about saying something so rude. Baby, I always need you. What do you mean when I need you, I text you? Okay, I love you anyway.
The funny thing is, I'm escorting a group to